Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great opportunity meeting you once again and continuing the topic of pragmatic leadership. So, I thought that I will give you a flavor of each chapter as we go along so that you don't need to probably read the book and then get the full perspective of what the subject is all about. So, in my previous sessions, I spoke about the foreword, what is the rationale behind this book, and I also shared some of the structure of the book that you can expect. Now, in the introductory part of my first chapter, I was just trying to share the rationale behind what are the probability that one human being has got in terms of unleashing all the potential. So, in the introductory chapter, my main aim was to set the tone of the book and also give you some assurance that if you are already a human being, obviously you have got the equal amount of opportunity in exploring your life in terms of taking charge and then develop your own leadership qualities. So during the course of the previous discussions, I also gave an hypothesis that whether the leaders are born or leaders are developed, there are two schools of thoughts, and then we have decided to adopt that leaders can be developed. That's the assumption on which this whole topic is being developed. So in the introductory part of my book, I was just trying to give the motive behind the human life primarily. That is, every human being, right from the childhood, one common lesson we have all been taught is that we need to chase wealth and we should be respectable in the society, for which we need to occupy certain positions in a reputed company and so on and so forth. So this is the program that runs in everybody's mind, and we are trying to stay with that context. And then why some people are able to grow and some people are not able to grow is the topic of discussion for us. So having said that, the aim of a common man is to make progress in life. So one contradictory requirement here is that we know where we want to go, but unfortunately we don't know how to go. So we have also discussed in the previous sessions that our entire education, parenting and social conditioning, they have all been giving us the inputs that what we should attain in our life, but it never gave the means how to attain them. So with the result, all of us are groping in dark, and then we are trying to do what best that we can. And then we are not able to make progress, and then we get frustrated in life. So that means the truth remains that the end is known but the means are not known. And unlike the creations of the rest of the animals or the plant kingdom and so on, human beings have become unique in their own respect. That means you don't find two human beings identical to each other. So there is a phenomenal difference between one human being and another human being. Some of the generic characteristics we find that some people are highly optimistic, that they feel that in life everything can be achieved. And we also see human beings who are very pessimistic in the sense that they feel that life is a struggle and then you will have to fight it and it is a competition and so on and so forth. So you find there is a two extreme kind of choices people make. Some people is found to have certain very good skills in terms of building relationship and in terms of convincing others and in terms of flowing in their life and so on and so forth. And we also see a large number of human beings who are always ready to fight and they don't get along with the people, and they don't have certain behavioral skills which are favorable for making progress in their life. So looking back into the evolution of human civilization, we find that those who are optimistic and who always feel that the future can be created, they have made a good progress materially. On the other hand, the people who are pessimistic and they always suspect that things won't shape up and so on and so forth, those kind of people have not made enough progress. So you see there are countries which are very optimistic in their views that everything is possible, and then they moved forward and created many inventions and discoveries. And but there are countries which don't believe that life is a wonderful experience and then we can explore. Those countries are lagging behind in the material pursuits and so on. So having said that there are certain qualities are very favorable for growth, but there are certain qualities are not favorable for growth. So under these circumstances, then how do we identify which are the kind of skill sets are favorable to us, and how do we develop them is a very critical aspect that I want to discuss in this book going forward. So many a times we have made certain assumptions that for us to move in our career, the technical knowledge is very important. So as a designer, for example, when I started my career, so I was just trying to learn more and more about machine design, and then trying to get into computer programming and so on and so forth. But later on I discovered that the technical competency can take you up to certain level, but it cannot really help you to manage people and then lead an organization in the front and so on and so forth. So in the context of pragmatic leadership, in the introductory chapter, I was just trying to give a 40,000 feet view of what we are looking for and where we are lacking, and what are the potentials that we have, so that we can really make use of those kind of a potential the nature or the creator has already given to us. So that is what actually I dealt part of my introductory chapter, and going forward I will try to give you some more deeper perspectives in the introduction of the concept of pragmatic leadership. I'm sure that this gives you some kind of a startup to assemble the thoughts in your mind, and look forward to give you more and more deeper insights along with my own personal anecdotes of my life journey. Thank you very much. Thanks for patient listening, and look forward to share with you more and more ideas. God bless you. Take care.